Good evening, everyone. This is Dayhawk, your favorite Daedric Prince, bringing to you episode 5 of Shaman King 2021. This time, I've decided to do something different. Instead of starting doing the review for the 2021 version, I've decided to start doing the recap of the original Shaman King. And from there, I'm going to the reboot and tell you the things that are different and move on from there. This time, I did some notes. And yeah, hopefully this time will be a whole lot smoother than the other episode that I did. I have to be honest. The last episode / review, it was a little bit messy and got confusing for me because I'm doing both versions, and they pretty much skipped 2 episodes of the original, and they move on into the ghost possession of Ryu, which got me a little bit confused. So I do apologize if that review was a huge mess. So this time I wrote in some notes, and yeah, I'm gonna start with the original first. So in the original episodes 12 and 13, we have Ryu, recovering from what happened, from being possessed. And mind you, Horo is already introduced in the original. He's already introduced. And this entire episode of episode 12 is about Ryu feeling guilty because of what happened. Everyone was like, don't mention it, don't worry, you have nothing to be sorry for, you're just possessed. But Ryu just like, he doesn't, even though he appreciates his friends for telling him that it's not his fault, he still feels that level of guilt. And so that's the whole premise of that particular episode 12. But I'm just gonna tell you guys like the highlights of what happened in that episode. For instance, Horo has been in the bathroom for most of the episode. Let's see. Again, Ryu feels guilty, sense of torment. He felt that he was so weak, not pure heart, that he got easily been possessed. And now, because of it, however, there's a bright side, because Ryu starts to see ghosts. He sees a Miromaru, and Anna explains, now that you've been possessed by a ghost, your shaman powers has awakened. He can see ghosts, and he could officially become an apprentice. Like, he could work his way into training. Train his way to become a shaman. His friends was happy for him, but Ryu again still feels bad, and just he just feels bad because of what happened. Knowing that earlier on he wants to be a shaman, but he feels weak, this and that, but now he could see ghosts, he could officially become a shaman. He's not in the mood to celebrate. So his friends starts to cheer him up. He knows that his friends is out there, have his back, but he's not in the mood, but he appreciates it. Then later on, Yo, Anna, and Horo started to notice that the spirits of the house are gone, and they're like, and Monta's like wondering like what's up, like what happened to the ghosts, and all three of them like sense something that is coming, like, and they're just looking at the sky. Um, and then later, Anna summons Mosuke. He fixes the Haru Haru Harusame's sword. Sorry if I butchered my Japanese. Sorry, I'm just reading off my notes. he Mosuke fixes the sword, and then Yo tells him to return it back to the museum, while Anna fetches the same hilt and the scabbard of the Harusame. And when Manta takes the sword out, there's nothing there. There's nothing but the hilt. And then Yo was like, "Don't worry about it. You'll see." And once Yo and Amiromaru became one, it becomes the hilt. Here comes the blade. Here comes the blade. So it creates like a spiritual blade, as Anna calls it. So each time they are together, the sword pops out like a real sword. Here is earlier on, I forgot to mention this. You see a mysterious stranger just looking on top of the trees at Yo's and Anna's house. It's later to be discovered as Yo's papa, and he sends down his spirits to see. It just sends him down, and Yo pretty much defeats him rather quickly. And Yo's dad was impressed that he's improved, but it's only just the beginning, and he leaves. And let's see, what else do we have here? So after the whole mini battle, Ryu decides to leave, and of course Manta was like wondering why is he leaving, like he needs to go train. And Muscle Punch tells him like, don't worry, he'll be back. He just needs to sort his feelings out, So you see Ryu leave first, and then on the road he ends up seeing the Lagos comet, or the shooting star, whatever you like to call it. I prefer to call it the comet, the Lagos comet, just coming out from the sky, and Ryu's like, oh, and then Yo's dad pops out explaining what the comet is, what it means, and then Ryu's like, oh, okay, I get it, and then just turns around, and lo and behold, there's Yo's papa, and he just casually just like, yo, you want to become a shaman, right? And Ryu's like, yes. And that's how that episode 12 of the original anime ends there. That was funny. For those that don't know about the Lagos comet, it comes out every 500 years as a sign saying that the Shaman King tournament is about to begin. The qualifiers are starting, which leads into episode 13. Which the scene starts with Horo waking up Yo at 5 in the morning, and Yo cannot eat that early in the that early in the morning, and Horohoro's like, well, just teasing him or whatever. Um, if you don't finish your, if you end up not finishing your food, you go to hell. And then Yo's like all crying, like, I don't want to go to hell. And then it leads to the scene where Anna, Yo, and Manta get walking from walking, because I think it's right after school they go directly home, and that's where they meet Silva. Well, we don't know that it was Silva, but you see a Native American flying at the top of the sky, and all three of them just stare at him like who is he, like how is he flying and all that stuff. And Silva pretty much ask him the question of life or death. Do you still wish to enter the tournament, knowing it could be your death? And give me your answer later on tonight at the park, where you see the first shooting star, like, and all that stuff, that ominous question. And if you got what it takes, meet me at the when the first star just pops out. And we cut into the scene where Amidamaru and Yo are at the house staring at the sky, just talking about, like, Amidamaru was like feeling unsure of himself, like, I don't know, he feels like he doesn't have what it takes to become stronger and be able to help Yo become Shaman King. And of course Yo, like, lay back, whatever, he's just, don't worry about it, you can't predict the future, I know we can become stronger, you just have to believe, and all that good stuff. While Horo looks outside as well, and then he sees the shooting star, which he just leaves, so we pretty much know where he's going. And then after that we cut into Yo and Amidamaru, and then he sees another shooting star, and then he goes to the park and meets with Silva. So Silva and Yo meet at the park, and tells Yo that you have 10 minutes to get a hit, like, to hit me, just one hit, 10 minutes. So they have this epic fight. The Yo Gentai, as they called it, doesn't work on Silva. And prior to him trying to attack him using the same ability, you have Silva's ghost taunting him every time. And you get to see Yo just like, oh, damn you, animal spirits. Like, the most of the taunting came from the eagle spirits, like, just give up already, you're doing the same thing, just just surrender, take a dump, and go home. Wait another 500 years. I'm like, that ego has a mouth, has a big mouth. And then you see all the other spirit animals, like the buffalo, the turtle, the snake, the ox, are like laughing at him, taunting him during the whole fight. And it's just hilarious how Yo, it's like, these spirits, once I'm done with Silva, I'm going after you guys. It's really hilarious. It's really hilarious. Let's see. Silva. What I like about Silva is that not many people in his position is willing to teach him how to use the meaning of Furioku and the Oversoul. It's like he was guiding him on teaching him how to use the Oversoul technique, which he eventually discovers. He had Amirimaru go into the katana, and there he achieved the oversoul technique. And then at the final bit, Silva combined his spirit animals to make the, what's it called? The Totem Pole Cannon, which, by the way, it's an impressive fusion. It's like an impressive cannon right there. It's like, ooh, you know. And so you have Yo and his oversoul versus Silva's oversoul with the cannon. He shoots and he blocks it, and he just directs it right back at him, and that's how he wins. Because later it's like, oh, did I hit him? Did I hit him? And then he faints, and then Silva says, "Don't worry about it. It's just he's just new of the technique. You know, he's trained right now." And then you see his bandana getting, falls down, sliced in half, and pretty much tells Amirimaru and Yo, when he came to, that he passed. He ends up celebrating while Silva was telling the how the telling him the tournament's gonna go, this and that. It's like, can you be quiet, please? I get it that you're celebrating, but please hear. So he ends up, Silva gives him the Oracle Bell, and pretty much the Oracle Bell is like, it's like a beeper slash, not really a cell phone, but it's like, it gives you messages on the name of the shaman you're gonna face the next night and where to go. So it pretty much like tells you, okay, who you're gonna face and when, and that's it. And then into the cutscene to the end of episode 13, you get to see Horo with his Oracle Bell, and then you have Yo receiving a message from the Oracle Bell saying that your first opponent is going to be Horo, and then at the same time Horo gets the same message that he's going to face Yo, and it ends with crap, and that's the end of the episode there. Now leading to the reboot. And here's what is different. I will tell you what it's different. The reboot starts with Ryo comes into the house. Everybody was shocked, and he offers his services to Anna to become a chef in the house. And then Ryo talks to everybody, Amirimaru included, and Yo picks up like, wait a minute, you see Amirimaru? Yeah. And he said, yeah, all casually and all that stuff. And Anna again explains why it happened. You know, we don't need to be, I don't need to repeat that since you already know. This time in the reboot, Ryo's gang was not present, and Horo is still not shown his presence yet. Okay, it's not shown his presence yet. And mind you, Ryu has not, I repeat, has not mentioned that he wants to become a shaman yet. He has not become a shaman yet. He didn't say that. All he said was he wants to become a chef. That was it. That was it. And it was because Yo rescued him from Takugaru, the king of bandits. And because of that, he like felt like he needed to um to repay Yo for what happened. And that's pretty much the reason why he wanted to join Anna's crew, Yo's crew, which kind of sucks. But again, at the end, I'll repeat of what I said. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't want to ramble all that much. Mosuke comes back early compared to the original. So Anna summons Mosuke. He fixes the katana. Mind you, Yo didn't ask Ryu to return it to the museum, mind you. Okay? Alright? So he keeps the sword. Unless I missed something that they returned it back and he got the other katana. If I missed something, go ahead in the comments below. But other than that, what I saw, he kept the sword. Now, another thing. Manta and Ryu went home on the road, okay, and then sees the star of Lagos, the comet. They see the comet. So, in the original, at the end of episode 12, you see Ryu riding away in his motorcycle, and that's where he sees the star along with Yo's father, which, by the way, he does not appear in this episode. He doesn't appear in this episode. In this episode 5 of the reboot, Ryu and Manta both spotted the star as they were walking home. That's the interesting part. But mind you, they don't know what the Largo's star means. But while they're staring at the comet, you have the same conversation between Yo and Anna about the star, that it comes every 500 years. It means the tournament is about to begin. So everything remains the same. Now, in episode 12, it ends right there with the star, heading into episode 13 with Silva. Now, in this episode, after the star gets shown, we hit into the next scene where Yo and Manta just came out from training, because you see Yo all patched up in the legs, that Anna pretty much upped his training. And then Silva makes an appearance as a merchant, and he ends up talking about the stars and the spirits, and Amirimaru pops up and like, huh? What do you mean by that? And like, do you know something? And then as Silva was about to say something, instead of knowing what he knows, he tries to have to sell something to Yo and Manta, which is like, I have to admit, it's kind of funny. And then they just leave, and then you see Silva, and then you see Silverwing talking, and they head into the next scene where the same talk Yo had with Amirimaru in the house, this time they have the same talk in the graveyard. And then Silva pops out still in the same garbs as the original, except I think without the mask. I think he had the sunglasses, whatever. I don't remember, but instead of Yo coming to him, Silva pretty much follows him around to the graveyard. He follows him. Um, he reveals himself that he's one of the members of the patch. He's one of the overseers of the tournament, and he is gonna test him to see if he's worthy enough to join the tournament. So everything in this is the same. Everything is the same, except that when you have the spirits taunting him during the battle, in this version, there's less taunting. There's less taunting by the spirits. What's also different is that Yo throws Amiromaru at Silva and tried a spell he learned from Anna, which both attempts failed miserably, because how would you throw a Miromaru or any type of ghost you throw it at another shaman thinking that they will get possessed, whatever. It doesn't work. It didn't work. It's like, what are you doing? And then when he chanted the spell, instead of getting rid of Silva's spirits, he almost sent Amiromaru to heaven, which was oh my god, Yo. Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. I mean can you imagine if he sent Amiromaru to heaven? Now he can't really join the tournament anymore. He had to wait another 500 years because he accidentally sent his guardian spirit to heaven. Oh my god. Ugh. Now they go into the scene where Anna and Manta were talking. Now I forgot to mention in the original, Manta could not sleep, and so he went to Anna's house, and then he sees Anna in her room just looking at the stars, and Manta was talking to Anna like, I can't sleep, there's like, it's, can't sleep, can't think about you, he's thinking about Yo and all that stuff. And Anna was giving her speech like, don't worry, Yo is destined to become Shaman King. He's gonna pass. I know he will because I believe in him. And of course Manta's like, why would you believe that Yo will become Shaman King? Even if he does, why would people follow a guy that is viewed as laid back and lazy? And then she starts having this speech, about people who are overconfident, who believe that can change the world and kind, tend to lose themselves, because once they attain great power, they disregard of what they promise. And change. They change. Anna's the way Anna believes that Yo is not going to change. Once he becomes Shaman King and obtain great power, he becomes the same old person. That's why she loves him and believes in him in all of her heart. Which, going back to the reboot, it's pretty much the same speech, except she added that that's one of the reasons why I love him. that's one of the reasons why she loves him. Which, it's something that I believe not jar opening, but it's like it's something that Anna hasn't publicly announced that she loves him for who he is, because Anna has been portrayed as this badass, and if and just don't mess with Anna. But she gives off that aura of badassery, and not the type of person who is willing to confessing her feelings to somebody. So I thought that was special. So it's the same. What's really cool is when Silva had his cannon ready, Yo achieves Oversoul. He shoots, Yo attempts to block it, and then that's when I give the people credit that they brought back the original opening theme of Shaman King. When I heard that music, I'm like, man, nostalgic comes out. Like, yeah, it's like, if I didn't get the DVD of the original series, then I would have been, oh shit. They added in the original theme song of Shaman King, and I'm like, that was so great. It was really great, but since I am rewatching the original, it kind of like took the shock away just a bit. And he succeeded. Everything remains the same. Now, towards the end, you get to see Ren, who kills one of the members of the Patch and gets the Oracle Belt. And then the episode ends right there. And then in the preview in episode 6, that's when Horo makes his appearance. And that's the end. What can I say overall? I'm still pro original at Shaman King, because Ryu made so much progress up to episode 13. He made so much progress. He changed from a bad guy from the first episode into becoming the hero that he was meant to be. You see him all sad, depressed, guilty of being so weak that he got easily possessed by the king of bandits, that he goes through this pain and he has to go to clear his mind of what should I do, even though he still wants to become a shaman. He wants to become a shaman. And then Yo's dad pops out offering him apprenticeship. And of course, in later episodes, you get to see his training unfold and having Yo's dad guiding him into the right direction. You have Horo already established, and the moment that at the end of episode 13, you get to see the first match of the tournament between two friends. That's when you feel, how this is gonna work, because they became friends almost immediately. They have the same goals of becoming Shaman King. They want each other to succeed. Only that they got their oracle bells telling them that they're gonna have to fight each other, and you don't know who to root for. And during that moment, when I was little, I was like, oh man, like you just got qualified to participate, and your first match has to be one of your friends. Like, it's just a horrible situation, you know? Eventually, when you have friends in a particular tournament, eventually you're going to have to face each other, right? But not this soon. Not this soon, especially when you just got accepted in, which kind of sucks. Kind of sucks, man. While in the reboot, Ryu's character hasn't been developed yet. Sorry, having trouble talking now. Pronouncing words and all that. Anyway, he hasn't announced yet that he officially wants to be a shaman. He feels indebted to Yo for saving him, and Yo's father doesn't show up. Horo hasn't made his official appearance yet until the next episode, and because of that, it takes away this feeling I have of both friends competing against each other. You want to cheer for them both, but there's got to be one winner, and we don't have that in this reboot because Horo has not made an appearance yet. I wish he would have made an appearance earlier, but it's not going to happen until the next episode, which is kind of a shame, in my opinion. Seeing Silva in both versions, you have Silva in the original appear all menacing and flying and giving Yo ominous questions, life and death situations, versus Silva in the reboot, he's dressed up as a merchant, which is kind of is his side job. When you get to later on, you discover that Silva and his best friend are both merchants, which is funny. Their relationship is kind of funny, but you see him as a merchant, and he's not as menacing. He's just like somebody off a street just talking about these sort of things that only Yo kind of knows and like be suspicious of, but Silva just cuts it and just directly towards, you want to buy something from me? Which Yo doesn't. So even if Yo sees something that Silva has, it doesn't have any money. He does not have any money. I'm just pointing it out right there. He has no money. Of course, he has Bonta. So, do you have any money? I want to get this. And like, other than that, I keep saying that the original is the best. I'm what I'm getting at in the reboot is that it wants to be more serious than the original, because in the original it's funny, a bit laid back in the beginning. Of course, when you have Hao make an appearance, getting deep into the tournament, things get a little bit serious, but still kept that comedic side of the show. So everything to me, it was balanced. Versus in the reboot, I'm getting this vibe and trying to be more serious than its counterpart, which I get it's okay, I guess they're trying to do something different, but I feel like the way I see Shaman King is that it's a well balanced show. It could get comedic as it wants to be, and vice versa. It gets funny in one way, but once it gets serious, it becomes serious. What they're trying to do is take away the comedic side just a little bit, like pull it back and become more serious. Which is like, to me, I don't like. To me, Shaman King, its heart, its soul is being a balance between being funny and being not funny. That's just me. That's how I feel. In the what I don't, again, with Ryu and Horror, what I don't like about it in the reboot is that, I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but it has to. Ryu is not established yet in the reboot, and Horror hasn't made an appearance to build that relationship with Yo yet, because already in the next episode is Yo versus Horror, and there's nothing on the line compared to the original, where their relationship is established already. They're best friends, and yet in the next episode they're supposed to fight each other, and the loser is pretty much out of the tournament. And whoever wins, of course, will be happy that they won the match, but they will realize that their friend will no longer be a part of that tournament anymore. That's what is missing. That's what is missing. Hopefully in the coming episodes they don't skip episodes, because like I said, when I was watching the original, they skipped 2 episodes. They went 2 episodes ahead. And whether it doesn't make a difference so much, but in the reboot it does make a difference, because in the original, Horror already makes an appearance, and the other episode before that, the Ren family sends another person to deal with Yo, which ends up failing horribly. And also during that particular episode, you get to see Ryu, okay, I really want to become a shaman. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that's pretty much it. Well, thank you for being with me this far. I think I've done better with the notes and everything. Everything gets cleared up, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna write some notes of for the original anime, and then once I go to the reboot, I'm just gonna state what was different compared to the original, and keep the format. I just wanted to do something different today, starting with the 04 version first, and then leading into the reboot. And to me, I find it to be a little bit easier, because that way I could already do a recap of the original episodes leading into the reboot version, stating, okay, it remains the same, but this change that change, and that's your episode. Um, Other than that, thank you for if you reached the end of this recap review. I like to say thank you. Um, if you like it, just give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter. I just don't care. But I greatly appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and tune in for the next episode of Shaman King, episode 6. Yeah, episode 6. And I will give a review of that plus the episodes of the original series. I like it. I want to say this before I go. I like doing this but compare and contrast because at least I give you an overview of what it is, what makes the original so much better than the reboot, and or vice versa. I could do this and this and this and say, okay, what's been added, what's missing, and why they should have or should not do it, because you know I find it to be very insightful, and I believe not many people who are doing the recap of the reboot is not doing a review of the original because they probably don't have it, they don't remember, but at least I have that advantage I can give you. So yeah, so I need to stop now. I'm rambling. So hopefully you can come back and watch the my recap slash review of episode 6, and I'll see you then. Johnny!